He's a looming dark shadow, ready to pounce any moment, a beleaguering monster of epic proportions, flinging gargantuan emotional bricks to form a wall between ourselves and others. Are you as taken as me with the image of a balanced arbitrator whose judgments never miss the mark, justice doled out in neat fair packages that lift us above the fray? Of course we are this judge, or at least in the sacred space of our minds, buoyed by all of our self-affirming stories, we experience ourselves as making perfect judgments. I want to take this image of judging to another place. How often in our organizations are we faced with moments of judgment? We pass judgment on situations, decisions, and more importantly, people. It's this last one that concerns me the most. Judgments separate us from others. They hold us secure and tight in assumed positions of superiority. What if we let the scaffolding of being judgmental just drop away? Can we really halt our knee-jerk reflexes to label, categorize, and evaluate people's actions and words based on our individually constructed, value-driven worldview? Many of you may be wondering, is he suggesting we suspend our judgments or abandon our inclination to pass judgment? Well, that's a piece of what I'm trying to articulate. Being less judgmental follows us like a wise servant, nourished with age, prepared to offer us a richer and easier road when we're ready. I've been trying to pave my road. While good intentions and self-awareness are a start, they're not enough. Stories help me quite a bit. Imagine you're in a conversation and someone says something that makes you stop in your tracks. Without any thought, you connect their words to a bigger structure of meaning. That is, we don't stop at the specific words uttered. As sense-making animals, we attach the words to a larger structure of meaning. We're assimilating the little story occurring in the moment with the big meta-story that we embody. We've allowed impressions to move away from being sense-making aids that help us perceive what's happening in the moment to judgments. And while they may seem to simplify and crystallize things, in reality, they're clouding our ability to encounter ourselves and others, thereby negatively affecting our chance to act in the best manner possible. That metastructure, the black box of countless experiences that are stored in our mind as stories, can and do need to be reconstituted. I mean, how else could we understand or act without this multitude of choruses working in our mind? But what if we recognized our blindness? What if we employed our memories working as the lattices of our metastructure to guide us rather than unconsciously consume us?
Let me share with you a little story that I hope will untangle this nuanced treatment of judgment. I was traveling shortly after 9/11, and I was in line getting ready to board the plane, and I observed that there was a family that appeared to myself and to other bystanders to be Muslim. And I noticed how all of us, even myself for a moment, began to actually sort of shy away, avert our eyes from this couple, react with fear. In fact, some people, when the couple began, the family got into line, were literally pushing these people away. Now this is sort of what I'm talking about. I realized quickly, as I think many other people, that this family had nothing to do with the attacks of 9/11. But yet we were allowing ourselves to make a judgment based out of fear, not based out of being present in the moment. And this is my point, that with stories, when we approach situations, when we approach people, and we realize that we're making sense of things, first with impressions, the impressions that we have. And those impressions, if we can be aware of how we're perceiving those impressions, that's the first step. The second step is realizing that we have a whole past, we have an experience, we have a whole set of our own stories, and that these are things that actually guide us to make decisions. But that doesn't necessarily mean that we have to pass judgment on another. We still can be very decisive, still be very clear, even make a decision which might be informed by our values, but not go that next step of placing a barrier between ourselves and others and creating separation. I know I didn't want to create a separation between myself and that family, even though I had a lot of fear and trepidation after 9/11. So this week, and as you move in your organization, might you think about how you can bring a storied consciousness to the work that you do so that you don't have to make judgments, but you can act decisively.